And then usually what works best is if anybody has any questions as the webinar goes on, feel free to chat me so then I can get to it when I take a pause, and then I will stop at various points throughout the webinar and give everyone a chance to ask questions, not through chat. You can turn your mic back on during that time, but otherwise, if you think of something as I'm talking, just feel free to chat it, and then I can quickly address it as I'm going. Also, if there's any of you on this who have not created a login, definitely look out for an email from me. So it'll be Allison Bischoff. Make sure that you got your login information. I can send out another email just to make sure everybody got their login credentials. And then if you have any trouble logging in, you can also let me know. But I just want to make sure everybody has the access that they need. All right, so I am going to go ahead and share my screen. So the main kind of point of today's webinar is really to go through our website. We just made a big addition or a big change today. So this, if you haven't logged in today, but you have in the past, you'll see a new format. And then does someone just want to quickly chat me? Are you guys starting virtual or hybrid learning? Because I'll go over both, but I just want to make sure. Let's see. Virtual. Awesome. Great. You guys have already started. Awesome. So great. So we have tons of lessons and adaptions for virtual. So I will make sure to go over all of that. And like I said, if you have any questions as I start going, then just let me know. All right, so when you first log in, this is going to be the screen that you see. This is kind of like your dashboard main page. Up here in the left-hand side, and just make sure everybody has their mute on. Up here in the left-hand side, you're going to see there's a search bar. So if you guys want to search for lessons, then this is where you're going to search. Otherwise, I would say most teachers use our filters and things like that to find lessons. So for those of you who have never logged into Rozzy, all of our lessons are project-based, career, real world infused lessons. So we have lessons for STEM, science, social studies, math, and ELA. And we go from kindergarten primarily up to 8th grade. We do have some lessons for high school as well, mostly in the science and STEM areas. But what makes our lessons unique is that every lesson is tied to a career. So you'll see all of our lesson titles have a 21st century STEM type career in it. And then it's all real world. So whether the students are doing one of our hands-on projects or they're doing a virtual project, everything is based in what these real people in these careers actually do. And our lessons align to state and national standards. So if you are a science or social studies teacher, you can use our lessons there. If you want to use them supplementally, like our STEM lessons, or supplement what you're doing with our lessons, that's also great as well. But all of our core subject area lessons are aligned and actually go through the topics and the knowledge that the students need to know for the various standards that they're doing. And these are all full lessons. So it's not like you get a worksheet and you have to put together a lesson or anything like that. Like they are all 100% full lessons, but there are different styles of lessons. So I'm going to go over our 3 different styles of lessons that you will come across. So the first one, this is something new that we've just added, is called Rozzy Power Ups. So we have a lot of teachers who want something that is 100% virtual and really, really easy. And so we made these Google Slide embedded lessons so that they are interactive, so that the students can drag and drop things. And I'll show you that in a minute. but they are all just in a Google slide format, so it makes it super easy to share with your students. They are going to be themed, so the first 3, and we'll release at least 3 every week. These first couple weeks are going to be back to school themed, and these are really great for like morning work or brain break or independent work. So these are really all fun. The first 3 here, you'll see one's a product designer, one's a robotics engineer, and then one's an app designer. Over here on the left-hand side is where you can filter to look for different lessons. So before you filter by grade level, I always recommend looking into the different subject areas first, because you might find a lesson that we've tagged as a different grade level, but you could actually do with your students. So definitely don't limit yourself just by the grade levels. It's there as a kind of a roadmap, but if you see something in a different grade level, you can check it to see if it's adaptable for your students. For the STEM lessons, these are gonna be categorized by career. So a lot of teachers might do like a different career a month that they wanna focus on. We also have popular topics here. For science, everything's broken down into earth, life, and physical science with subcategories. Social studies, we just added a ton of ancient history and US and geography. So these again have these more refined subtopic areas that you can look into. We have math and ELA, and then we also have these popular topic lessons. So for instance, if you want to try some like back to school ones to get started, and then we go into Halloween and the fall. And so these are all like really fun, temporally related lessons. A new filter that we just added that will be perfect for you guys since you just started virtual is going to be lesson length and lesson type. So the 10 to 20 minute lessons are all going to be 100% virtual. So those are going to be your power-ups or our lessons that are just on one single PDF. So they're super easy for your virtual environment. And then our 30 to 60 or multi-minute or multi-day lessons are going to be our hands-on lessons. And I will go over how schools are adapting our hands-on lessons for a virtual environment. And then those will also be great when we hopefully all can go back to school as well. You can also filter by lesson type. So again, the power-ups and remote friendly are going to be great for you guys to start off with. And then these other style of lessons are the hands-on type. And then you can also filter by no materials needed or materials needed. So again, for the start of school, you might not want to do any material needed lessons just to make your guys' life easier. So feel free to use that filter so you know you're just going to get the lessons that don't require any supplies. The other feature before I take you into talking about the lessons, I just want to bring to your attention is marking lessons taught and saved. So I recommend once you guys start looking and viewing the website, planning lessons by using the saved feature will be really nice because you can look through and kind of categorize what lessons you want to do. And then you can also mark lessons taught, so that way you can keep a record of what lessons you've taught. We can also then show your admin the list of lessons that the teachers have taught, so that way they can see that the resource is being well utilized, know what really awesome stuff that your students are doing, and then that way they know that the money they invested in Rozzy is being put to good use. So definitely use those features to help you organize, and then your admin will love it too because they can see all the cool stuff you guys are doing in the classroom. Awesome. So if anyone has any questions about the layout of the website, just let me know in the chat box. Otherwise, I'm going to show you guys the power ups right now. So when you click on the power up button, it'll show you all the lessons that we have tagged as power ups. Every week you will get an email on Sunday. So this Sunday you'll get your first email telling you what the power ups are for the week. And these are the 3 we have here. So the one I'm going to do as an example is going to be this robotics engineer one. So you'll see when you click in, we just give a quick description of the power-ups and what this one is. then you'll see there's this orange button here that it will give you instructions on how to do the Google slide everything for this. So it'll go over how you make a copy of it for yourself, how you upload it into Google Classroom. It's a 3-minute video and it'll be on every power up so that way you can reference it. But all you have to do is click this, and then when you click this, it'll have you make a copy of the Google slide file. And then, for instance, here's the Google slide file as if you made a copy for yourself. So you'll see that the whole lesson is right here on this Google slide file. It goes over what robotics engineers do, and then we give the kids a brief overview of what they're going to do in this lesson. So in this power up, they actually learn about elements of poetry, and then they use what they learn to analyze a poem. And it's interactive because the students can move things around. So for instance, this one, ask the students to circle any words that rhyme. So then the students can drag things around. They can write in the text boxes here, so that way they can record all their information. And then at the end of these lessons, we always have them do some type of little project. So in this one, the students get to design their own homework machine, so they can use their own shapes and photos that they can put in the slides. We also give them some samples that they can, again, drag and drop, and makes it easy for them. So I highly recommend these lessons, again, for kind of that enrichment time of like when they first get started. If anyone finishes something early, or obviously you can just use these as like full lessons, because we do cover topics like poetry and things in these, so they'll all have something a little different. Does anybody have any questions about this? Got a chat already? Let's see. Wonderful. So, so the question is about making copies. So when you are in the Rozzy website and you click here, it will prompt you to make a copy. That copy will go to your Google Drive. Then, and then this, for instance, would be your Google Drive. So this is on my Google Drive. Then when you go into your Google Classroom, so I made this one here, you can then make a lesson here. So I made this one, the homework machine power up. And then there's a button that when you go to create this, it says, you can click a little down arrow and it says make a single copy, or it'll say make a copy for every student. So you want to click make a copy for every student. That way, every student that's in your Google Classroom will get their own copy, so that when they start manipulating this, it's not messing up anyone else's Google slide file. So again, that 3-minute video goes through all of that and how to do it, but it's super easy once you click create an assignment here and you go to add the, I'll do it quickly just to show you guys. This was a little slow earlier. There, it's going fast. You'll see here, when you go to upload this, students can view file. You want to click this down arrow here and click make a copy for every student. So it's super easy. You just got to kind of know where it is. It took me a minute to find it when I didn't know it was there. Awesome. So those are the Rozzy power-ups. If you guys have any questions about these, let us know. Otherwise, they're super easy. And these ones are really fun. So these would be great like Friday activities, kind of at the end of the week, or get the kids pumped up for the week. So those will be really great. All right, so the next style of lesson I'm going to go into is the worksheets. And the question was, yes, there's only 3 power-ups, so we're releasing power-ups weekly. So there's 3 for next week, and then we'll add 3 after that, and we'll keep adding that. And then, but you'll be able to reference them back, so they won't disappear or anything like that. Awesome. So now I want to show you the style of lesson that is 100% a PDF. So these are our 10 to 20 minute remote friendly lessons. And let's see, we're going to do, let's do this map of state animals. So these are really nice because all the information that the students need is in the single PDF. So it's really nice for like parents, if parents are helping, because the parents don't need to like reference anything else. It's also nice because if you guys put students into breakout groups in Zoom or anything like that, you don't have to be with the kids while they're doing it unless you're in a younger grade and the kids need help reading. So this is a social studies one. So this is a map of state animals. So you'll see here, we walk the kids through what a state animal is. And then they also learn about wildlife specialists and how wildlife specialists study animals. And then they get to make a map of different state animals that they're learning about. So this is a great example of where the students get to do something that like real wildlife specialists do, where the wildlife specialists learn about where different state animals are. So we always try to make it a fun one. This is a super short one. Other ones are much longer than that. So we have like all different styles. And then we also have an answer key. So then you can upload this for the kids or you can check it. To download these, you just have to go to this download button right here. That's this down arrow. So then you can download these to your computer and then upload them right into your Google Classroom. So if you're not doing a power up, every other type of lesson is just PDFs. So it's super easy for you to upload them into your Google Classroom. We are trying to make all of our lessons fillable so that the students can type in. So it looks like the question here from Julie. So all of these 10 to 20-minute ones are fillable. However, sometimes it doesn't download right in Google. We've heard like mixed reviews just from everybody that sometimes Google is a little wonky. And so I'm going to make a video on how to do it. If it doesn't work, what other teachers are doing is they're just having their kids make a Google file and they just answer it on like a separate Google file in the lesson. But otherwise, we're trying to make all of ours fillable, but I know sometimes the fillable doesn't always work. The question is, how is this distinguished from a power up? So the power ups are meant to be like super short and they're more subject area agnostic, whereas all of our other lessons are specific to state and national standards that need to be met. So this one is like maps and geography and things like that. For science, we go into all the various science things that the students need to learn. So like this one is a video game designer and the students learn about a city called Hayuk, which is a 6th to 8th grade one. So that's really the main difference between those and the power ups. Awesome. So if anybody doesn't have any questions about that, I'll go on to the hands-on ones because I just want to talk about adaptions that people make for those. Again, everything can be uploaded to Google Classroom. And I will make that how-to for the fillable ones to make sure that as you upload to Google Classroom, it stays fillable. However, we've talked to other companies and other teachers, and sometimes it doesn't always convert correctly. So if that ever happens, you can always have the students just make a Google file where they like type out their answers essentially on a separate sheet. So that is also kind of the easy way to get around that. So I'm gonna pick a lesson that is really easy to show how the adaptions can be made. So prior to COVID, Rozzy's promise was that every lesson is hands-on and project-based. So we've been able to keep true to that by making these project-based lessons virtual. However, we do have lots of schools and teachers who want to give students opportunities to do hands-on learning even when they are not in the classroom. So I'm going to go over ways to do that, and I'm also going to go over ways to adapt it if you just don't have the ability to do it hands-on. So when you go into these lessons, you'll see that there are many more buttons. So these lessons are going to be longer. The first The first button that you see is gonna be a lesson plan. So this is for you, this isn't for the students. So this walks you through introducing the topic to the student, tells you when to have the kids look at handouts and things like that. And then obviously goes into the hands-on part of the lesson. If you wanna make any adaptations to this, feel free. Again, it's meant to be a resource for you guys. So we have teachers who take parts out, add things in. So whatever, you want to do to make you feel comfortable and get the info in you need. So in the case of this lesson, the students are going to be hazmat safety trainers, and they learn about building a safety mask. And so the students learn about hazardous materials, they learn about different safety masks, and then the students are given a handout that goes over different hazardous locations. And then at the end, they're supposed to build a 3D model of their mask. So to show you what other kids have done, so you'll see these masks are super simple. This kid was very creative here with his little smiley face. And then love this group shot here. So you can see that these masks are made from super simple supplies, everything that you would normally have in a classroom and things that the students likely have at home. So the two adaptations that we're seeing is, one, if you don't want the students to have to use any supplies, you could just have them design their mask on paper or on a computer, and then they submit that as their final product for the project. If you have them do that, I recommend having them label and describe their thought process more there, just to make it a little more higher level, so that they're not just kind of like scribbling a design down on paper, where you actually like ask them to label different parts of the mask, talk about their design process, things like that. The other option, which a lot of schools are getting behind, is that you would have the students design the masks at home, and you would just have them use items that they have around the house. So how we're helping to do that is we're gonna send out on Sunday, in that email that goes out weekly, a list of supplies that we suggest parents purchase to have at home. Some school districts are also giving supply bundles to parents, like spending very minimal money on it. But you can also see if the parents could get things like construction paper, popsicle sticks, Dixie cups, really inexpensive things. And really the value proposition to the parents is this will give your students an opportunity to not be on a screen 100% of the time. So that if they can create a little space in the house where they have like a bin or something where their supplies can live, then that way the students do have opportunities to not be staring at a computer screen all day. They're also really fun and engaging projects. And so a lot of parents, I'm sure, would get behind giving the kids this opportunity and providing some resources. Again, you don't have to make that mandatory, so you could just have students make or design the masks on paper, and like students who do want to do a 3D model, you could have them do that on their own or as homework. If you are going to have your students do the 3D model and have everyone do it, a lot of teachers are having the students work on part of it as a class, and then you as a teacher can kind of ask prompting questions, and then they could like finish the mask for homework. So I think it is a nice way to give the students some time where they're all on the computer together, but they could be working and like starting the building process separately. But again, whatever works for your guys' situation and for your students is what you should do. So if you don't want to have the stress of having the students do the hands-on activities, especially in these first few weeks, just stick to doing the virtual lessons or adapt these hands-on lessons to not have the hands-on component. For experiments, which is mostly going to be in the science lessons, all of the experiments pretty much have really simple supplies. So again, Some schools are sending out like a list of supplies to parents a couple weeks in advance, saying that there's going to be an experiment coming and asking them to get supplies. Pretty much all of our experiments don't require like toxic materials or and basically anything you can get at a grocery store. So if you want to do that, you can, or some teachers are just opting to not do experiments or demonstrate the experiments themselves and not have the kids do it. But again, I know you guys are going to be crazy and stressed out with this new environment, and the kids are going to be in this new environment. So really do whatever makes you feel comfortable. And that's why we have all of those virtual lessons as well. And then just to quickly, for those of you who haven't had a chance to look at the website, you'll see these are handouts that we have. So again, these can be downloaded and uploaded to Google Classroom. So it takes the students through what they need to know. So you could have this on the screen and like share your screen and walk them through this, or have them read it, especially if you're working with older students. Every lesson has a writing extension with it. So these are great homework opportunities for the students. And it's also a great ELA cross-curricular opportunity. And these are always kind of fun. So this one, the students get to write a letter to a construction company. We might have them make a commemorative stamp or a license plate or make an advertisement. So these are great for a homework option. And then we also have vocab cards. So again, you can put these in Google for the kids, or some teachers are printing them out and like hanging them up behind them when they do a lesson. So that way the kids can still see it. And then for the other subject areas that are the core curriculum areas, those lessons have a video. So you could stream the video to the kids, or if you right click on the video, it'll give a link to the students, and then that way they could just play it at home. And those videos are about 2 to 3 minutes long and just like introduce the topic area to the students. So does anybody have any questions about this style of lesson or making adaptions or anything like that? Feel free to chat, or you can unmute yourself if you have any questions. What's nice is that when all of our clients had to move to being virtual in March to May, they were all able to continue using us. So if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. We're here to help you. And we know all of our clients were super happy when they were virtual. There was a question about AZ alignments. Yes, we do have Arizona alignments here under social studies here. And then we have a science one. It's not listed under here. I'm going to write down to send you guys. I'll send everybody our AZ alignment Google document that we have. We just sent it to another school district. So, but we have science and social studies is 100% aligned to Arizona state standards. We also have a ton of Arizona state history lessons. So those are really awesome. It goes over a lot of cool stuff for the kids. So you guys will be able to look at that. But Julie, I will send out that. Math and ELA is right now Common Core aligned. We're working on the state alignments for those. Those got a little derailed with COVID, and we had to kind of switch our curriculum development for this year, but they're all Common Core aligned there. But I will send out the science and social studies to everybody so that you have that. I will also send the lesson list for you guys. So you'll see here, it keeps signing me out of here. You'll be able to have this lesson list. It'll live at the top here of this bar up here, all the lessons, so that these you can just click it and it'll bring it to the URL so that you can quickly pop up and look at it. And then you'll also have that Arizona document as well. And that document is living, so we'll update it as we update any Arizona specific lessons. So does anybody else have any questions? I want to make sure I'm cognizant of time and so you guys can get to your weekend. Julie, is there anything that you wanted me to go over that I didn't go over?
No, I don't think so. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. No, this was great, Allison. This is a really good overview, and it does look a little bit different than the last time we looked at it, but it seems pretty user friendly, and I know you're really responsive to emails, so I'm sure if we have questions, we can reach out to you, and it looks great.
Yeah, wonderful. And someone just asked about Kansas and Arizona. So we just uploaded a bunch of Kansas lessons. So that's why you see those floating at the top. But there are lots of Arizona history ones as well. So you'll be able to see that. And then we'll be adding more because we have a lot of Arizona districts that we're working with. If you ever have any like requests for lessons, feel free to contact us here. If you're ever like, hey, do you have this lesson? Or I'd really love to have a lesson like this, feel free to chat. We have a chat bot down here, or you can contact us up here, and then I can search our database to see if we have a lesson, because sometimes you're looking for something and you might not always find it yourself. But I'm happy to have our team look for it for you. I can also let you know what's in the hopper. So you might say, hey, I would love a lesson on this topic area. And then I can tell you like, oh, that's not quite ready yet, but it's in line next. So like Julie said, we try to be really responsive and get things to you as quickly as possible. So do not hesitate to reach out. Wonderful. So if nobody has any other questions, what I will do is I will get this webinar recording back out to you guys so that you have it. And Julie, if anybody missed it, feel free to send this to them. And then if anybody needs any login help, it should have come from my email address. So Allison at Rozzy Learning. Check your spam if you didn't see it. But if you need any login information, just let me know. Or if you need help logging in, feel free to reach out. But I think that's all I have. So if you guys feel good, then I'll let you guys go so you can start your weekend early, hopefully.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Allison. This is wonderful.
Yeah, thanks, Julie. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And like I said, feel free to reach out if you need anything.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks
Bye.
again. Bye.